Let's just continue this conversation that we were having in the earlier hour here on Morning Live about the Social Security Agency, that's SASSA, and SAPO, the Post Office. They've got until 6 o'clock this evening to come to an agreement over the distribution of social grants, and it's just looking like a very difficult battle at this point. So picking up the conversation with us again is Wandisa Phama. She is an attorney at the Centre of Applied Legal Studies. She's in our Cape Town studios. When we left, Wandisa, again, I really do thank you so much for staying on. When we left the conversation, I think the note that you left it on was that this is panic mode at the moment between the two to come to an agreement. The one party, our minister, saying she will not be bullied. The other party, the Post Office, saying they are not happy with only getting one aspect of the deal. They want everything. And it's just looking very, very difficult. Let's pick this up. I mean, what, again, does this mean for the people that are expecting to be paid grants?
It basically means that they are subjected to further uncertainty as to whether or not there will be grants paid on 1st April 2018. And history tells us that these things to put in place take a couple of months or they take time generally. So to be sitting on the 1st of November and there's still no clear plan is a crisis, Leanne.
Yeah.
You know, the conversation yesterday between the minister and SAPO, it became very frustrating because it is unclear what is it that they disagree on, what is the bullying, and what is it that the minister seems to be disputing that SAPO can deliver. Because in a presentation made yesterday and a presentation that was also circulated last month by SAPO, SAPO has been saying, we have done this before, we have a number of branches across the country and we can do it. And it's unclear how the minister has not been able to pick that up. So tonight's meeting, really, the most important thing for us and our clients will be walking away with some sense of certainty that by the end of March 2018, there will be a system in place for the payment of social grants. It will not be in the CPS contract that has deductions on social grants, but rather a contract that is above board, that is lawful, because the current one is not lawful, that will not cost the state too much, but that will not steal personal data or deduct from social grants of beneficiaries, including child support grants, and grants will be paid.
Do you think, after listening to both entities' presentations yesterday, and I believe that, in fact, the Department of under Bathabile Dlamini didn't even give the presentation because it was something that had already been shown, so there was nothing new to show. But from the Post Office, do you think they can take over it after watching their presentation?
From their presentation, it seems like they are able to do this. So yesterday, it seemed like the minister missed the most of why she was called into Parliament yesterday by trying to give a presentation that she already gave last week. There was a deviation from answering about a meeting that was supposed to have happened last week between the two parties to negotiate a contract and procurement services that need to follow with the assistance of Treasury that has been called on as well tonight to assist the two parties to reach a settlement. So by giving that last week's presentation, it shows the continued confusion within the department itself that is creating further confusion for social grants beneficiaries and uncertainty. So from SAPO's presentation, they of the opinion that they can provide what needs to be provided with the stations that they have, and on issue of the protection of personal data and avoiding social grants deduction, which is another matter that is currently in court. They were on board, happy to be led by the Department of Social Development and SASSA on the procedures they need to set up in place to avoid the deductions on social grants. But now we're sitting in November and there is no system in place. It's a really worrying situation that we are finding ourselves as a country back in again, following an urgent application back to the Constitutional Court earlier in the year to actually ask the court to extend an invalid contract to ensure that there is a mechanism to pay social grants.
Yeah.
If our politicians were accountable, something would have been done in the last few months to ensure that by beginning of April next year, there is no need to be asking courts to be extending suspensions of invalid contracts, but there is a valid contract and social grants are paid in a manner that is consistent with the Constitution.
Wandisa, we have to leave it there. We thank you so much for your opinions. Just a quick yes or no. Do you think 6 p.m. today we will see a deal met?
No.
All right. You didn't even have to say no. It was the giggle that gave it away. Thank you. Thanks for chatting to us. And we'll wait. We'll see what happens on this one. Wandisa Phama is an attorney from the Centre of Applied Legal Studies talking to us here on Morning Live. Okay, it's 23 minutes past.